Hello everyone. Now in this video we're gonna make a quick recap on everything about limits, graphically and analytically. Okay, let's start with question number one here. So here you have the graph and I'm gonna ask you about different things. First of all, as you can see here we have x when it's reaching, find the limit when x is reaching -1, and as you can see, let me zoom in a little bit. As you can see, there is besides the -1, there is a negative up there. Up there means that on the left of this -1, okay? So, let's go to the graph. Here's the graph, okay? Where's the -1? Here it is. You directly draw a line on this -1, okay? And ask yourself, Masara, the limit reads what? The limit reads everything except the point which is in the air. What does it mean? It means that the point that is not connected in any line or something. Okay? So it's gonna read anything. And limits cannot have two y values. Once you have something like that, and he's asking you, he's not asking about the left one or the right one, directly it's D and E, does not exist. Because we cannot have two different y values, okay? Okay. So in this case, he's so specific. He's asking you about, on the -1, the point which is, the rest of it is on the left side of this line. So here's my line, and there is a point, the rest of it which is on the left, and there is another point which is, the rest of it is on the right of this line. He's asking about this one. So what's the y value of this point? It's 3. That's it. Okay? طيب Masara, what about -1, which is letter G, but positive? So in this case, it's asking about this point. This point, which has the rest of it, is on the right side of the line, so the y value is going to be 1. Okay? That's it. So what if, Masara, he asked us about limit when x is reaching -1 and he stopped. And he stopped. He was not specific about which one, the right or the left one. In this case, since we cannot have two different y values, my answer is gonna be D and E. Clear? Okay. What about f of 1, for example? F of 1. Now in f, f can read everything except the empty circles, empty and not shaded. So here we have, let's go to let me make it in another color. So here's the 1. Okay, Masara. So we cannot, this was an empty circle, if you notice that. But here there is a shaded circle, and the F can read it. So here we're going to have the y value of it, which is going to be 1. Okay? If he asks about letter F, for example, okay, f of 2. So in f of 2, if I'm drawing a line here, there is an empty circle. F cannot read this empty circle, so I cannot read it. So in this case, the f's we don't write does not exist. We write undefined. Okay, undefined, because I cannot read this empty circle in the f. That's it for the graphically. Okay, now Masara, I have this question and I don't know what method am I going to use. Okay, because we have a lot of methods. Okay, ask yourself, dear. Okay, is this question, okay, is this power, this is a 3, okay, and this is a 2. Okay, if you cannot see it, x power 3 plus 1. Okay, directly once you see x power 3 added or subtracted to a number, without thinking, this is the sum and difference between two cubes. This is the case when we open a small bracket and a huge bracket. And we then say that the rule says same sign of this part, and then opposite, and then positive. Okay, so, and then we put down the cubic root for this variable and the cubic root of this number to write down, to find out this small bracket. So here we have the cubic root of this x is going to be x because the root cancels the power. And then the cubic root of 1 on your calculator, you can write, if you have another number, to write down the cubic root on your calculator, you can just say shift root. Directly you can get the cubic root on your calculator. So it's x plus 1. Okay? And then to find out my first term, you can easily say that this variable to the power of 2. Power 2. So x power 2. And then this number, to find out my last number, I will say also power 2. So 1 power 2, which is 1. But Miss Sarah, what about the middle term? How can I find it? You can easily multiply these two digits together. Okay? 1 times x is going to be x. Okay? And let me tell you something. Don't you ever, never change the signs once you adjusted them from the beginning. Okay? Because some students, because this is a very silly mistake I've seen lately, which is, let's say, for example, here I'm factoring this part, okay? Same thing. It's gonna be x minus 1, and this is gonna be x power 2, and this is, and here we have a positive number, positive, and this is 1. Okay? Some students, when they come here in this part, they tells me it's negative 1 times x, so it's negative x, and you show it me this way. I'm gonna kill you if you show this way. I said do not change the signs. Don't you ever do so. You're just taking out the numbers without the sign. So in this case, you're saying 1 times x. So it's going to be x. Is it clear? Okay, let me go back to my question. Okay, now my denominator, Messiah, it's x power 2 minus 1. X power 2, once you find out x power 2, whatever the variable, power 2, multiply 3. But listen, if you have a leading coefficient here, which is greater than 1, you must ask yourself, is there any availability that you can take a common factor? If you can take a common factor, so in this case, you're going to take a common factor. If there is no common factor, directly multiply 3 and you can get the answer. Okay, the multiply 3, you have 1, and the middle term is 0, and the last term is negative 1. So I can do it mentally, by the way, which is x plus x minus, and the root of 1 is 1, 1. Now, your part that you're going to do now is going to be canceling the like terms up and down. Okay, so you will find out x plus 1 is cancelled with x plus 1, and what's left, you're going to substitute it with the negative 1. Okay, so please listen to this part. Since the x right here is a negative number, please, you must put it in a bracket. You must, it's not an optional. You must, if you did not do so, your answer completely will be totally wrong. Okay, you must put it in a bracket. And then you're gonna find out the answer. Okay, easily and without any problems. Okay, that's it for this part. Next. This is the same thing. I need to choose, okay. It's a question just like this one. Miss Sarah, x power 2 minus 4. Opa, mood 5, 3. Yes, of course, dear. Just do it. Come on. So, mood 5, 3. 1, 0, negative 4. So, go ahead and find out the two numbers. I can do it mentally. X plus, x minus. What's the root of 4? It's 2. Miss Sarah, what about the denominator? It's x minus 2. I cannot factor it. Yes, exactly. So, just keep it as it is. Just keep it as it is. Okay, now what am I supposed to do? The usual thing we always do. You cancel the like terms. So here I have x minus 2 will cancel x minus 2. And listen, guys, whenever you find out that the numerator or the denominator is empty, there's nothing there, do not write down 0, please, for God's sake. Just put down a 1. A 1. Anything that becomes empty, it's instead of it, it's 1. Okay? Okay? And you substitute the x value in what's left, and then you find out the answer. Okay, so you can simply say 2 plus 2, which is over 1, it's gonna be 4. Okay, easy. That's it. Next. Okay, Miss Sarah, I have found out a root. Directly, without thinking. A root means conjugate. A root means what? Conjugate. Conjugate means that the strategy we have talked about before. So I will take out my root up and down as it is. And please, while you're writing out the root, make sure that you are extending the root properly, because if your handwriting, you can get lost. Okay? Some student, when they write it down, they do this so. They do it this way. They say x and then plus 1 minus 1 or whatever. They do such silly mistakes. Please, for God's sake, don't show me those mistakes. So x plus 1 and then x plus 1 right here. Miss Sarah, what do we do with this number which is outside the root? Directly, you must change its sign. So it's going to be plus 1 and plus 1. If this one positive, you are going to write it here negative, negative, and so on. Got it? Okay. Now, after that, I will open a huge fraction sign. And then you ask yourself before you do anything, my root, my fraction, the original fraction, my question, was the root up or down? It was up, Miss Sarah. Okay, that's great. So the denominators, both, I will write them as they are. X plus 1 and then plus 1 out there. As they are, don't change them and place them in brackets. Oh, in brackets, okay? Now, the denominators, what am I going to do, Miss Sarah, with them? You're going to simply multiply the root by root, multiply them together, and the integers multiplied by each other. So root times root, they cancels each other, and what's below the root, I write it once without changing anything. And there's no need for the brackets because we're going to merge already, so just write x plus 1 once. And then negative 1 times 1, please don't do it mentally. Please, for God's sake. If you did it mentally, you're gonna make silly mistakes. Please, يعني ربنا ما يحرمنا من الكالكوليتر يعني. Negative 1 times 1 is gonna be negative 1. Now, Miss Sarah, what am I supposed to do? Now merge. Simplify as much as possible. 1 minus 1, which is 0. So as if this is not there. Because x plus 0 is x, so just useless. Just forget about it. Remove it. Okay? So now I have x over x. So now I can simply simplify. Remove the x with the x and do not forget to place a 1 in the numerator once you're done and there's nothing there in the denominator. So you have now a 1 and then you're going to use your calculator to simply write down 1 over root of 1 plus 1 and then plus 1 and then you find out the answer. Cross this. This is a mistake while we were solving. Okay, so it's gonna be 1 over 1 plus 1, which is 2. Oh, okay, wait a second. I made this horrible mistake. Okay, it's a 0 instead of the x. Okay, 0 plus 1 plus 1. Okay, so my answer right here is gonna be 1 over root 0 plus 1, which is 1. Root 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. You can do it on your calculator to check your answer. Okay? Okay. Oppa synthetic. In this sheet, kindly cross everything because this cannot be solved and just solve the rest. Because there was a mistake in them. They cannot be solved using synthetic. Just solve 3 and 5. 3 and 5 can be solved. This one, question 3 and question 5. Okay? In question number 3, using synthetic, directly we can say that, let's go to the synthetic. Synthetic easily can be done this way. I show my division sign and then what's the x value? It's 3, so I press it up, I write it down there. Now, what's the high power I have? It's 4. What's the leading coefficient? It's 1, so I write down 1. Before power 4, what we must have x power 3? Is it given? Yes. If it wasn't given, I was going to press, I write down 0. What's the leading coefficient? It's negative 9. Type before power 3, there must be power 2. Is there power 2? Yes, we have. What's the leading coefficient? At 27. Write down 27. before power 2, there is a power 1. Is it given? Yes, it is. What is it? It's negative 27. Miss Sarah, after that, we have to have the constant. Is there a constant? No, there is no constant. So it is going to be 0. There is a missing term. I place it as a 0. Okay, now you drag a line and then you start solving. Now, the rule says that bring down, multiply plus, keep going so till you reach to 0. If you did not reach to 0, so you have a mistake. You need to resolve it from the beginning. So now, bring out the 1. Now, 3 times 1 is 3. What am I going to do with these two numbers? I add them. Negative 9 plus 3, using your calculator, for God's sake, do not do any silly mistake. It's going to be negative 6. 3 times negative 6, which is negative 18. Same thing, using your calculator. 27 minus 18 is going to be 9. Then 3 times 9 is equals to what? 27. Right, great. Now, negative 27 plus 27 is 0. 3 times 0, which is 0. 0 plus 0, which is 0. Easy? Now, let's go to this important part as well. The first term must have a variable with a power which is less than the highest power that I had in the question. If this is power 4, so I will start here by power 3. And I will keep going down. X power 2, x power 1, and so on. Okay, the 0, 0, they are useless, so as if they are not there. So now I'll go to my important part. I open a small bracket and a huge bracket. What's this small bracket, Yamsara? The thing that you always forget. That x value. I put it down in this bracket, but I change its sign. It was positive in the question. I'm gonna place it down negative. If it was negative, I put it down positive, and so on. Now I put out this expression, my answer that I got from this division, as it is. And please review everything you are doing. Miss Sarah, there is no sign here. What do I write? A plus sign, please. Over, what do I do? My denominator that I had in the question already. Okay, if it was a quadratic thing, you can factor it. Please factor it. Mood 5-3 and write it down. Okay? Okay, now Miss Sarah, do I have like terms that I cancel them? Yes, you have, dear. X minus 3 can go with the x minus 3, and denominator is empty, so I write down 1. Now, what am I supposed to do? As usual, substitute the 3, which is the x value, in the x's that you have right here, and you get out the answer. Easy? Don't forget to write out your answer. Ah, next. Infinity. Okay. I love this question. Whenever you find out x reaching infinity, you directly know that you are dealing with the theorem, the rule that we have learned together about powers. When the power is greater up than down, so the answer is infinity. When the power is less than down, so it's 0. When they have the same power, so leading coefficient above leading coefficient, and simplify your answer. So here, power is greater than the power down. So what will be my answer? It's going to be infinity. If you wrote D and E as well, it's correct. This one or this one, they are both correct. Okay? Here, this one. Question this one. Power 4, the highest powers, of course. We are dealing with the highest powers. 4, so I'm going to say that 2 over 1. 2 over 1, which is 2. If you wrote 2 over 1 and you did not write your answer in the simplest form, you lose grades, by the way. Take care of that. Okay? Here, for example, if this was going to be 4, if this was 4, x power 4, for example, what were you going to do? You're going to say the power up is less than down, so my answer is 0. But this is just a reminding of the 3 cases. Okay? Next. Synthetic and la 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 la. I want the theorem. Where's the theorem? I need a question about the theorem. Don't we have anything about the theorem? How? Have the theorem part? I did not put a theorem part. Okay, the theorem part, whatever the question is, whenever you have it, you're gonna say that, for example, if you have x power 6, um, let me get you the question. La 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 la, how can I get it fast, Minnesota. Okay, get it right now. Let me get it for you, wait a second. I'm so close. Here it is. Okay, let's say, for example, x limit of x reaching to x power 6 minus 64 over x minus 2. What's the theorem, Yamsara? The theorem says leading coefficient above leading coefficient, which is 1 over 1. It's useless, but if you don't want to write it, it's okay. And then power over power, the highest power up over the highest power down, 6 over 1, times. What is the x value? It's 2. So 2 power, these powers minus each other's. The power up minus the power down. 6 minus 1, and you get the answer. Voila. Okay, take care. If this x was a negative 2, you must write here a bracket of this negative 2, because if you did not do so, your answer is going to be completely wrong. And that's it, and we are done. Study hard, solve a lot of questions, solve a lot of cases, so that you get a full mark and the highest grade that you can do in your exam. Wishing you all the best, guys.